All right. Welcome to another episode of the Beehive Marketing Podcast. We're changing things up a little bit. I decided to call this channel, instead of the solo marketing podcast, I changed it to the Beehive Marketing Podcast simply because of a couple of things. The first reason is because I read the book, The One-Page Marketing Plan by Alan Dibb. Had a great interview with him, gained some insights from his book, and also coming down the pipes, which is why I wanted to make this video, Dave Jenyns from SYSTEMology is going to be coming on my channel as well. And I've read his book now twice in the last couple of weeks. The first time, it took a little bit for me to wrap my head around SYSTEMology in the idea of making everything in your business a system, to build it in such a way that perhaps eventually down the road, maybe you want to sell it. So, and I know Dave got that concept from Michael Gerber, who was also one of his friends of the E-Myth series. And I've read those books as well. But for some reason, after reading Dave's book the second time, I thought, you know what, I got to come up with a name instead of just a solo marketing podcast. I got to come up with a name that will stick. And I thought of Beehive Marketing Podcast. I know there are other channels that are called Beehive Podcast, for example, and that, but they don't talk about bees. They don't talk about the structure and compare it to marketing and compare it to business, like I will be doing on this channel. Because I've studied bees, I've studied honeybees, drones, how they work, how they operate, and it is so much like how a person structures his business. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in the days and weeks to come on this channel. So if you like that kind of thing, stick around. If you're interested in hearing from Dave himself, on Monday I'm going to be interviewing him, and then it'll probably take me a couple of days to edit the video. But I thought it would be a good idea to talk a little bit about his book. And I actually have the physical copy of his book. Sorry, I don't have the physical copy of his books. I have a copy of his book on Kindle, and I also have a copy of his book on Audible. I find it a lot easier to read a book at the same time as listening to a book. And then I also had my wife order a physical copy of his book, and hopefully it'll be here in time for the interview on Monday. It should be arriving Monday morning, because I always like to, obviously, I have a library of physical books, and I always like to have a book, especially when I'm interviewing someone, an author. I like to have the physical copy on me. I also try to regurgitate it, or try to go over the book a couple of times before I do the interview. So I honestly believe that if you are going to ask someone to be on your channel, it's reasonable to buy some of their stuff. To me, it's just reasonable. It's reasonable to buy, especially an author. It's reasonable to buy a book, to subscribe to their YouTube channel, which I am as well. I have, like I said, I have the audiobook, and I'm getting to know a little bit about Dave just because of reading his book, and then also watching the interview that he did with regards to his buddy Alan Dibb. So that's pretty cool. So this will be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually implementing everything that I've read from the one-page marketing plan and SYSTEMology into what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to be building a website and all that kind of stuff. And I also use Slack. HubSpot, everything like that in order to build my business. Because in the book Systemology, Dave highly encourages a person, especially when you're starting out, to basically have two software applications, one in regards to your systems and then the other one in regards to project management. If you can keep them separate. Not many people can keep them separate, but it's really integral to your business to allow it to be able to expand, very similar to a Beehive, because they have all kinds of systems going on there, and we're going to be talking about it in another video. But if you think about it from a business standpoint, you need a software program like Slack in order to manage some of your day-to-day conversations with people in your department, outside of your department, all the various channels. Then you also need a project management tool like Monday.com, which is what I use, in order to keep track of your day-to-day tasks as well and your projects, just so you can know where everything is. And you can do things right down to putting your website on there, putting your YouTube channel on there, putting your blog post on there, all that kind of stuff, so that you can begin to understand how your business is evolving over time, because you can't make it perfect instantaneously. That's not the way a beehive works. You find a tree, the worker bees begin the process of building a beehive, and if they have a queen, the queen will eventually lay eggs, and then the worker bees actually will adjust how many drones they need versus worker bees and all this kind of stuff as the beehive grows. And that's very important. So again, I'm very excited about this YouTube channel. I'm very excited to have Dave Jenyns, and we're going to go deep on his book, and we're going to get to know him a little bit better. I'm going to prep some questions for him that perhaps maybe no one has ever asked him on an interview. And it's all going to be related around business, which is what I absolutely love. So if you like this kind of thing, again, subscribe to this channel, stick around, watch the videos, watch how this channel evolves over time, including a website, including email marketing, all that kind of stuff. You're going to learn how to do that here, because you're going to actually watch me document my process. And again, it's going to be based on a handful of books, the one-page marketing plan, Systemology, and then also Traction as well, which I'm also reading at the moment. So thanks a lot. Really appreciate you guys. And I'll see you in another video. And again, don't forget to subscribe. See you later.